Hi guys, I'm a Forester here on Friday, November the 1st. This is National Fountain Pen Day. Some of you may have known that. It occurs every year on the first Friday in November. I wanted to acknowledge the day by making a quick video to show you the two pens that I'm carrying for the past couple of weeks. I carry my pens in rotation, and what I'm carrying right now is two Platinums, Platinum 3776 Century. I have them in two colors, two different configurations with different nibs, different colors. I wanted to go over these pens with a quick review. I've already made a detailed review of both of these pens, do a quick writing sample, and then maybe talk a little bit about penmanship with fountain pens. I'm going to write with the black one. This is in a medium nib. I think it'll show up a little bit better on the video. But as I say, this is National Fountain Pen Day. And it occurs on the first Friday in November. And so today is November 1st, 2024 is when we're making this video right now. Now this pen has a medium nib, a medium gold nib, and let me just demonstrate that a little bit. This is on Tomoe River paper. Okay, and let me write a little bit with this. I call it wine colored. It's in red. I try to match the ink with the pen color. This is a fine nib, both of these gold nibs. I think I write much better with a fine nib. And I think you can probably tell the difference between these two pens. Now, both of these pens are very high quality. I made a video recently about Chinese pens, and I used this one as a comparison to the Chinese pens and how much higher the quality is in these Japanese pens. These are two of my go-to pens, and I always carry them in pairs. I like to carry two ink colors, and generally a black or a blue-black and a red. So I use this one for highlighting. Like right now I'm doing a lot of interviewing of applicants at work, and I read their applications, their resumes, and I'll use this for highlighting key points that I want to remember in the interview. This is just more for my daily writer. One reason I like these pens is because of the cap that's inside. There's a liner inside the cap that seals the pen. You can actually feel it when you fasten the cap. You can feel it give a little bit, but that keeps the ink from drying out. So it seals the cap, prevents air from getting in and drying out the nib. When I first got these pens, I think I gave both of them a pretty hard review. So you can go back and look at my reviews of both of these pens. But I think the main point that I criticized them for, well, I can think of 2 points. One was that I had a hard time with each of these trying to get the ink started the very first time I inked them up. And that was very frustrating. But once I got them writing, since then, and I've had them since I think 2020, since then both of these pens have been as reliable as can be. I think mainly because of that sealing mechanism to keep the nib from drying out. They've been very reliable. They write first time every time. You've seen both of these writing, but now I was taking a lot of notes with this pen this week, and I kept it uncapped for a long time. I'll say maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes or so, and I noticed it faltered just a little bit when I got started. But generally, if I write and then put the cap back on, it's not going to dry out. And it's the same with this one. They write first time every time. They're very reliable writers. Now, this wasn't they have gold nibs, and they weren't the first gold nibs that I've owned. But these are unique nibs. They're shaped a little bit different, and I talk about that in the review of these pens, but I like them a lot. They fit well in my hand. They're a good size. They have that sealing mechanism, high quality. The other thing that I complained about, I think, in the review, now that I think about it, is the price. So if you go online and look for these at online stores, and I won't name any, but you can go and look. Generally, the price of each of these is going to be over $200. And I think in the review, I summarized it by saying they're excellent pens, but they're not worth over $200. So I looked hard to try to find good deals on these, and one I bought directly from a store in Japan. The other one I bought through Amazon. I think this was the one I bought through Amazon, and I paid, I think, $75 for one of them, and it was about $120 for the other. So I would recommend shopping around. I would recommend not buying these from an online store. Don't pay over $200 for them. You'll find them for a wide range of prices, but generally you can pay somewhere around $100 to $110, $120 if you buy them just through Amazon. And I'll put a link to these pens on Amazon in the description box below. This is the box that they come in, by the way. It's a good enough box. It's not high caliber. I did get a converter with one of them, but not the other. And I don't remember which one of these has the converter. Okay, this one has the converter. And the reason I can tell, so that has the converter. The reason I could tell that is because of a ball that they put in the ink cartridges. I think you maybe can hear that, but that ball is in there to cause the ink to flow so it doesn't stop up in the cartridge. But I think actually it has the opposite effect. I think if it settles down at the opening where the ink flows out, it actually can prevent the ink flow. And now I don't know that, but that's my theory, because I can tell a difference in how the ink flows between these two pens. So one problem I had was with a hard start when I first inked them up. The other is the price. You have to be careful what you pay for these pens. But I think they're excellent pens, and now I will say I meant to talk about the rotation I put pens through. I've been carrying these for a couple of weeks, and I really look forward to when it's their turn in the rotation. I have enough pens that at one time I tried to keep most of them inked up so that I could use them at will, but I started having problems with the ink drying out in other pens, not these. And so I decided to change my habit, and so I cleaned all the pens except for maybe 3 or 4. So these and maybe 2 other pens. And I go through a rotation, so I've been carrying these, and I'll carry these until the ink is out, runs dry. Then I'll clean them out, put them in storage, and I'll go to another pair. So I have several pairs where black and a red pen that I carry. And so I look forward to when it's this Pelican turn to carry, because they are high quality and they fit my hand beautifully. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about penmanship, and I should hide my penmanship because it's hard to write on camera. I can write better than that. But just recently, I've had a discussion with 2 different people about handwriting, and they made the case that younger generations, and they were both young, did not learn penmanship. One person yesterday that I was interviewing apologized for his handwriting, and he said, when he was in grade school, they were teaching cursive writing, and they made a policy change when they were in the P's or Q range of learning, and they said we're not going to be teaching handwriting, cursive handwriting anymore. So he said he learned through the P's or Q's and then nothing after that. But I've noticed that handwriting of at least 2 or 3 people that I've worked with lately is really bad. I mean, bad to the point where I can't read it, and I question whether they can read it because they use electronic devices so much instead of using a pen. I watched a video yesterday that talked about the value of writing with a pen. Every stroke is thought through and very purposeful. Versus the purpose when you're writing with a tablet or your phone or a computer is to get it typed as fast as possible. Speed is of the essence, but you know, when you're writing with a fountain pen, you're considering every stroke and you're giving it a lot of thought about what you say. And it's more permanent. You can delete something you've written online in a second. You can write it, delete it, and there are advantages to that. But with a fountain pen, it's more purposeful, it's more thoughtful. You put a lot more time into writing what you are writing and composing it, and then there's a record of it when you're through. You can tear it up and throw it away, but chances are you're going to save your notebooks and you're going to look back. It might be a diary, it might be something about your thoughts, your finances. You're going to have it to go back and look at later. So that's my 2 bits on fountain pens. If you're not into fountain pens yourself, then I hope you will, and these are good pens to start with. And if you want to encourage someone to write better and improve their penmanship, maybe get them hooked on fountain pens. Buy their first pen for them, and a child or a grandchild, and get them hooked on fountain pens, and maybe it will improve their penmanship overall. I hope you all have a good day. Take care. Bye.